It all starts with that power, the power that you have within you to change your thoughts and achieve anything that you want in life.
Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
All right. Good morning. Can everybody hear me okay? If you want to unmute. Am I good?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Well, let's get started. And happy President's Day. I don't know if you know today is actually a holiday. And it's wonderful to be with you this morning. I'm coming live from Colorado, and I love doing these Monday Mindset talks with you. And today we are going to start a session. It's something that I do every year, and it's the 4 P's. And today we're going to start talking about power, and then we'll continue with passion, and then we'll do a session on purpose, and the last one will be about prosperity. So when you talk about power, I want you to think about what that really means. There's lots of different ways to look at power. Sometimes power can be looked at negatively, but what we want to do is actually talk about power in a very positive belief. Okay, so when it comes down to power, it's things that you think about. How can you take that power that's inside you and help it to grow inside so that you can have more power with attraction and things bringing more power of positivity into your life. So I'm going to see if I can share my screen here, and we'll get started because I do this, like I said, there we go. And see if I can do a slideshow. Yeah, there we go. Can everybody see that?
We can see it.
Okay, cool. All right, then the power of belief, right? So we start with the power of belief because these 10 steps, and we're not going to be able to get through all 10 steps. Like I said, I'm going to carry on this session, and it's probably going to be once a month, but I'm going to see if we can get through at least 5 of them today so we can talk about that. And then next time I'm on the show in March, we'll talk about the other 5. Okay? But before we go through, the 10 most important steps using that power, I just want you guys to know that it's all about your own inner knowing, right? Your belief systems. There's lots of people that can influence you on your power, but I want you to really think about the things that you believe and how you choose to expand your own consciousness, because there's always going to be new ideas, new beliefs. And it's, again, there's things that have been proven with science, and it starts out with your belief system and how you see yourself versus how others perceive you, okay? Because others can perceive you all different types of ways, but it's really what you believe about yourself, how you could take that power and grow. So really, step 1 is about loving yourself. Are you willing to let go of any old beliefs about yourself? And a lot of times people say, it sounds very selfish when you talk about, loving yourself. But, you guys, that mindset is an old mindset. It really has to be about believing that you are always growing with your new beliefs about yourself. Those old beliefs, those old programs in your mind, or just that, they're old. And so I don't know if you know this, but everything that you hear and see goes into the part of your brain and it stays there forever. It's a memory. And even though you don't consciously think that you're thinking about it, your body and your mind still have a lot of old beliefs that can slow you down. And so you want to have things that you can program that are new beliefs, and start loving yourself in the morning when you wake up. Instead of feeling, negative and feel like, oh, you wish you could stay in bed, start looking at how you can look at yourself and say, today I'm going to have a new belief. I know that I can get through this. And I always do it with gratitude. Gratitude is the best way to start your morning, because you can think of things that you're very grateful for before you start your day. And what happens is your energy changes, and then you start to attract the same types of people that are grateful for things as well. Okay? So step 1, loving yourself. And you could do this exercise. Maybe just take some notes so that you can do this later today or right after the program. But you want to list 10 things about yourself in like 2 minutes or less. So don't think very long about it, because sometimes your mind can trick you and say, no, you really don't think that about yourself. So try to just list 10 things that come to your mind really quick. And if it's tough, say things like this: in my humble opinion, I am wonderful because. And I want you to do that after this instead of doing it right now, okay? But it's a great little exercise to get you going in the morning about things that, and you can say I am, because I am is very present, and you're talking about yourself in the present tense. So let's go to step 2, letting go of any kind of limitations. Okay. Fortunately, you can recognize the beliefs that limit you. And guess what? Limiting thoughts are just thoughts, and thoughts can change. Okay. So a lot of times, again, you've got this program in your head that starts to tell you things about yourself. And unfortunately, we listen to them. And so what I try to do, if something comes up that I'm complaining about myself or I'm complaining about things, I have these little bracelets, and they're easy to find. You can use the rubber band as well. But it changes if I look at that bracelet and then I just sort of snap it. And when you snap it, it sort of snaps you into this different thought. So, for example, sometimes when I've got a lot going on, I can get disorganized, and I'll have that thought come up that I am so unorganized. And what happens is, if you have things that you're telling yourself that are negative, if you could snap that and change it to I am so organized, and all of a sudden it gives you this energy, and I feel very organized. And then I start putting things away, putting my files away, and start doing things that make me feel organized. So that's just an example, but I want you to let go of any kind of limitations that you have thought about yourself, because again, they're just thoughts. Okay? So 2 techniques that can help you with this past programming is what we call inner child work. So I don't know if you've ever done this before. I've actually had a therapist session, and it was back when I was in my 20s, and I was having a lot of anxiety. My job in New York City, the energy in New York is really, fast paced, and I was just having some anxiety, and my therapist said to try to close your eyes and go back to when you were little and think of something that you really loved, something that made you happy, and just see that part of yourself. And this is visualization. And what she made me do is just, send that child who is really me in my thoughts, love love and support and saying how much you really care about that little person. And, who cannot love a child, right? So it gives you that different perspective on things, because when we're adults, we tend to beat ourselves up, right? We tend to say all these bad things about ourselves. We're our worst critics. And when you can look at a child and look at like what you maybe even get a picture of yourself, that helps. Find a picture of yourself when you were a little person and look at that person with love and just say, it's all going to be okay, right? And then you can start using these positive affirmations of, I am supported. I am loved. I am, and you can just use those I am terms with affirmations to help you get through hard times, okay? Changing negative beliefs with these positive affirmations. And research has shown, that we can form new synapses within our brain when we practice positive affirmations. So I do these every morning. For a great example is I'm really close to being an icon. Last year, same thing, icon agent. And I really, want to be icon again. So I'm doing a lot of I am, closing the 2 more transactions that I need by March 31st so that I can be icon. And it's more positive versus getting that stress about trying to be icon. Okay. So it's got to be positive, got to be personal, and got to be present tense. Here's a really great couple of affirmations. I have clear insights that assist me in releasing the past. I'm willing to believe that I deserve a wonderful life. I begin my new life in this moment right now. So if you're ever feeling that negativity, the stress, because the power within us helps you to create that new mindset. And it really, nobody else can do it. It's always up to you. You could think that a therapist can help you or a yoga instructor and all these, that definitely helps, but it really has to start with you. So retraining your brain, doing new programming with your brain helps by doing affirmations, because you are reprogramming and putting those memories into that part of your brain so that when you do have a stressful moment, it'll be easier for you to come up with those new thoughts versus those old thoughts rushing in and those old programming rushing into your brain that do cause stress and anxiety. So number 3, choose happiness, right? Okay. I know sometimes people are like, Monica, why are you happy all the time? You never seem like you have anything wrong going on. Well, yes, I have some things that happen in life. Everybody does, right? You can either choose to dwell on the negativity, or you can choose joy. You can choose happiness. And it's all about choosing. Which one do you want to choose? So if you read this, Abraham Lincoln once said, let me see, I can't read it all. A person is just about as happy as he or she makes up his or her mind to be. Today, the most important decision you can make is to love and accept yourself unconditionally. You will gain great happiness and peace of mind from that simple decision. Okay, so maybe write that down.
Perfect for President's Day.
Who? Excuse me? What?
I said perfect for President's Day.
Oh my gosh, yes. So Abraham Lincoln once said, a person is just about as happy as he or she makes his mind up to be. Okay, so really, again, it's up to you. What do you want to think and feel? The power is within you. So again, happiness doesn't come from out there. Happiness isn't something that you receive. Okay? What if you could accept everything in your life exactly as it has happened right now. Whatever has happened to you in the past, it's gone. Okay? So a great belief, what a relief. That's a great slogan. I forgot that I wrote this. What a great belief and what a great relief, right? Because it's all done. So stop worrying, stop judging yourself, and just start believing that you can become more aware of being right here in the present moment instead of thinking about things that have happened and the things that you did. You know, you could do something, irresponsible in the moment. And then, a couple hours later, something happens from it. Or a couple of days, and something happens from that decision that you made. Well, again, you can look at it as, how am I going to learn from that decision that I made? Right? How can I learn from that and move on instead of dwelling on it? And I know, man, I've been in situations where I have just beat myself up. And I'm like, why am I doing this when I, know I could have a different thought about it? I can learn from it. And then you got to forgive yourself, right? You got to just forgive yourself. Say, you know what? That was, something that I did, but I am going to learn from it and I'm going to move on. And what happens in your brain is your brain remembers that forgiveness, and you have a change of energy once that happens, because the last thing you want to do is beat yourself up about a decision or something that you did, because when you carry that energy, you attract those types of people that are doing the same thing. You attract the negativity versus attracting a positive person. Okay? So again, happiness comes from the inside. Worry is not an empowering response. And, I don't know if you know this story, I wrote about it in my book, Inner Being in Balance. But what happened with me is I had so much worry, so much fear, that when you worry, toxic chemicals spill into your nervous system. They block out any kind of receptivity to your inner guidance. So any kind of insight that you're looking for will not come because you are blocking it with worry and fear. So a lot of times people just can't seem to get out of a situation, and they wonder why they can't get out of that situation. Is because they have so much fear, so much worry about it, that it literally blocks you from getting the answers. So if you have the power to believe that you are going to be okay and you can change that mindset, then all of a sudden the worry and fear let go, dissipates, and then your mindset becomes more affirmative. You start to expand your ability to these creative responses, and those challenges tend to go away. So in my book, I had ended up with 22 ulcers. These ulcers were, eating me up on the inside, and I could not seem to get out of that situation. And the anxiety came more and more. I got sicker and sicker. And finally, I got the book, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And I started doing the affirmations that she said were the emotional thoughts that were creating this sickness. And so I started doing the affirmations for ulcers, and I did them every day. I did, 100 times I was saying these affirmations so that I could heal myself. And I got better. And that's how I ended up, moving on past that situation. The ulcers went away. I was able to be the healthiest that I've ever been in my life. And I continued being healthy after that. So really, when you think about sickness, it's the emotions. It's the thoughts that you are creating within your nervous system. And you tend to get, sicker and sicker because, again, it's like you can't seem to get out of that situation. So you have the power to heal yourself and you have the power to help yourself move out of those challenges. But you have to choose. Again, you have to choose your thoughts. And if you've never read The Happiness Advantage by Sean Aker, please read this book. It's such an amazing book. They did all kinds of scientific studies. He was a Harvard professor that decided to study Harvard students and their happiness. He found out that most Harvard students were not happy at all. About 80% of the students were not happy. They were stressed out, and they were causing themselves, to not be able to do very well. And a lot had to do with, just the pressure of things going to Harvard, and then also the money of putting themselves through school. So he said, the happiness advantage is there's 3 things that you can do. You can write thank you notes or tell someone how much you love them or how much you care about them. So thank you notes are awesome. Doing them to your clients, doing them to people that you work with, like title companies, lenders. You're just putting that happiness out there, okay? Because it feels really good when you're writing them, and it also when people are receiving them. Pay it forward. Number 2, spend at least 2 minutes a day in gratitude. So I told you, in the morning, that's when I do it. I also, when I lay in bed, I think, but the things that I'm grateful for, it usually helps me sleep better. And then that pay it forward aspect of whenever you have that opportunity, let's all say this now, all right? I choose happiness now. Whether you're saying it out loud right now, or if you're saying it in your head, it's a really great affirmation. In case you feel bad about something, you can just switch it to happiness. And that paying it forward, that helps so much. Like if you were, let's just say that you're standing in line to get coffee, and you tell the person, the barista, you tell them, hey, you know what? I'll pay for that person behind me. I'm going to pay for their coffee. You don't know what they're going to order, but it feels so good. And then that barista, when you leave, and that person, maybe you can stand or watch their smile, and you can say that person in front of you just paid for your coffee today. It feels so good. Okay. Number 4. Let's see what time it is. Okay, we've got a few minutes. We can probably make it to step 5. So number 4 is finding your life's purpose and living with happiness. So I will be talking more about purpose, because when you have a purpose and when you know that you are here for some bigger reason, it helps you to be a lot happier as well, because you're helping other people. And when you help people, I promise, when you give time, and when you give money, and you give effort towards something that you truly believe in, you'll get so much more back. And that's just the law of karma, the law of receptivity. There's a book called The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. Read that book if you've never read it. It's a small little book, and it talks about finding your purpose and living with happiness. And when you give, and that law of receptivity, you have to be open to receiving back. Okay, so if you give somebody a compliment, be open to receiving something back, because that happiness that you just gave them by complimenting them or saying something to them about how you feel about them, be open to receiving back, because that's how it works. When you give, usually 100%, I shouldn't even say usually, you will always get something back. So ask yourself these questions. Why am I here? Right? When you start thinking about why you're here, finding that sense of purpose will help you get through your days, because you're being kind to others. If you want to experience kindness, be kind to people. If you want to experience more success, help somebody else be successful. If you want to change the experiences in your work or your life, you must be the change. You've got to quit thinking that somebody else is going to make you happy or somebody else is going to make you purposeful, right? Starts with you, the power within you. Think about that in the when you wake up in the morning and like I said, do your affirmations, read something positive, and then ask yourself, who is out there today that I could help change their world? And start looking at the clients that you might have talked to in the past or people that are sitting on the fence. Give them a call and talk to them about your value. Ask them that question. Maybe it's a business that somebody just started, entrepreneur. Maybe it's a restaurant that just opened and you know them. Reach out to them and just ask, how can you be of value? And you won't believe the responses. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. I really need a plumber. We just had this happen. I know you're in real estate. That's so great. You must know that you were supposed to call me. Okay. So when you start with your mind open like that in the morning, fresh, and you ask yourself, who can I be of value today? Or who can I be give purpose to today? It'll come to you. It'll come to you. And it's because of that energy you're asking, you're open to receiving it. And that person will pop into your head. And I promise when you call them, they'll be like, I was just thinking about you. I was just thinking about calling you. It's such a great experience. Goethe was a famous quote in the 19th century. And I love this because and this is something you can write down as well or come back and watch this podcast again. But whatever you can do or dream you can, just begin it. Belief and boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Okay, so this was 19th century. Whatever you can do or dream you can, just begin it. Just start it. Because so many times we feel not enough belief in ourselves that we lose that power and that magic. So just start it. And a lot of times you'll get help when you do that too, because you can ask of, how you can be valuable to somebody else. And then they reciprocate with helping you with something as well. Okay. So again, it's all about that power and belief that you have. Okay. So, we got a couple minutes here. Step 5, let go of the fear of moving forward or going forward. There's so much fear surrounded in taking that first step. I believe the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. So a lot of times we make stuff up in our heads. And how often have you let fear just stop you from achieving your dreams? Have that mindset of you can achieve anything, and think about all the people that have achieved such great things. Maybe you know someone that's achieved something and you reach out to them for help. Let go of the fear by just taking that first step. Okay, this exercise we're going to finish up here. I want you to finish the sentence. Write this down. What scares me the most about going for my biggest dream is. Okay? What scares me the most about going for my biggest dream is. And when you start writing these things out about your fears, like I am not smart enough, I don't have enough time to do that, I don't have enough money to do that, you want to switch those thoughts. Again, remember, thoughts are just things. They can be changed. And when you switch them, you change them to more positive affirmations. I am smart enough to achieve my dreams. I'm at the perfect age to start achieving my dreams. My enthusiasm shines with everything I do. So again, the power of belief, the power of your mind, and the power of your mindset can help you to achieve whatever you want in life. So just believe you got this. Believe you know that you can do things, but it all starts with that power, the power that you have within you to change your thoughts and achieve anything that you want in life. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to do the other 5 in March, so look forward to that, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy President's Day.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.